I like to think of little experiments to try in VGC. Different, unusual experimental team compositions, sometimes to learn more about the game from them, and sometimes just for fun. This one actually, despite the title, was not originally about 6 starter Pokemon. The original concept was not that, it was just 2 grass types, 2 fire types, and 2 water types. And the inspiration actually came from the Prismatic Draft League, which is a draft league that I play in, VGC style. If you haven't checked that out, I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. People bring crazy techs in draft leagues, and I have a few playlists for the last few seasons. You can go find those on the channel. But spoilers for Season 5, the team that ended up winning the championship that season, dominating many opponents along the way, including me twice, was a team with what I call the double fire, water, grass core. They had 2 grass types, 2 fire types, and 2 water types. And that makes a lot of sense in draft league play for reasons that don't necessarily translate over to VGC. Obviously, fire, water, grass, well-known core in doubles formats, a ton of synergy between those 3 types. And when you double up on that synergy, you have a lot of potential cores that are very hard to break into different matchups, right? You can engineer things for different matchups. That no matter what you face, you have something that, again, is hard for them to break through. It makes sense in Draft League because, one, it makes you hard to counter team, and that's a huge part of the draft format. If you're watching this and you don't know a Draft League, you draft a certain number of Pokemon, usually about 11, and you try to counter team your opponent's draft each week. So you're harder to counter team with a well-balanced core like that, but also because you have 11 Pokemon to choose from, you can still only bring 6 to a set, but you can mix and match from your 11 each week. You have access to other Pokemon as well, so you can balance out your core beyond just the fire, water, grass double core along the way. So, that team ended up winning the championship, and I thought that the defensive synergy was very interesting. Again, like I said, it didn't necessarily carry over to VGC. Again, go check out those playlists, by the way, but I still wanted to see if double fire, water, grass could make sense in VGC. The basic idea of it being a strong defensive synergy core that's very hard for all different kinds of teams to break still made a lot of sense to me. So I thought I'd give it a go myself. And that is where the idea of running 6 starters came in. It's Regulation H. Starter Pokemon, not all of them, but quite a few of them, are doing pretty well in the format. Why don't I add one more little gimmicky twist onto what's already an experiment that I'm hoping to learn something from and see what I can do with it. So, with that plan locked in, not just double fire, water, grass, but now also 6 starters, here's the field of Pokemon that I had to choose from, right? I could also use unevolved forms, but I'm just going to tell you now I didn't think about doing that. And again, it is necessary to the premise of this experiment that I choose exactly 6 grass types, exactly 6 fire types, and exactly... Did I say 6? Well, I'm going to leave that in, that's funny. Exactly 2 grass types, 2 fire types, and 2 water types. So, obviously some Pokemon here are stronger than others, and I pretty quickly just kind of picked the strongest Pokemon and filled them out in my team builder, and here they were. For the grass types, Rillaboom setting up grassy terrain, hitting very hard with terrain-boosted grass-type attacks, including Priority Grassy Glide, and giving fake-out support to its team. And then Hisuian Decidueye was kind of having a moment in the meta at the time as people were experimenting with different fighting types, trying to find the best one, and Sneasler hadn't been figured out yet. Hisuian Decidueye having Scrappy able to provide a lot of coverage into both Archaludon and Goldango, which were 2 of the top Pokemon at the time. For the fire types, we have Hisuian Typhlosion was having a bit of a moment, hitting very hard, and Incineroar, I think, needs no introduction. It's just one of the best support Pokemon ever, no big deal. For the water types, Primarina, the strongest attacker of the bunch. And then, honestly, they're not that... Water starters are not doing that great in VGC right now. They're kind of the weak link in this chain. But I was thinking about Blastoise for the last Pokemon. It can do a few things. It's bulky. It gets moves like Fake Out to lend some support to the team, and it can set up with Shell Smash. That said, I just kind of left these 6 Pokemon in my builder for a while, and eventually went back and thought about the team some more and sort of figured out more of a clear intent with the team, and I did end up changing 3 of the slots. And so Decidueye, Typhlosion, and Blastoise, for better or worse, did not make the final version, and instead I went with Chestnut, Skeledirge, and Inteleon. Why? Because Again, the point of this core is strong defensive synergy that is hard for an opponent to break. So going bulkier with Chestnut over Decidueye and Skeledirge over Typhlosion, I thought played more to the basic goals and assumptions behind the team. I also liked Chestnut as a setup attacker. I felt like Chestnut setting up Belly Drum with fake out support from Rillaboom and Incineroar could be something very strong to fall back on. Rillaboom also could, by setting up the terrain, give Chestnut recovery and priority on its Grassy Glide, so I could be throwing off +6 priority Grassy Glide, potentially sweeping teams that have trouble dealing with that. And then, if that's not available in a given matchup, Skeledirge is a solid, bulky Pokemon with Unaware. It can shut down opposing setup attackers. It can also be supported by Rillaboom and Incineroar. It also enjoys Fake Out and Grassy Terrain support, especially since it can boost its own offensive power with Torch Song. Finally, Inteleon might look a little weird, but it's a fast Pokemon that hits not too terribly unhard, not too softly, I guess. But also, I like Inteleon because it's a fast soak user, and given that I was thinking about going to Chestnut setup game plans, and also just Rillaboom can hit very hard with its grass type attacks, Inteleon turning an opponent into a water type, so that my strong grass type attacks can break through things that the opponent might not be expected, felt like it was giving me a clear mode to play toward with this team, at least in some matchups. Whereas while Blastoise might be an overall better Pokemon, I didn't have as clear a vision in mind for it. And so here was the final team. Chestnut, again, running the Belly Drum set with Grassy Glide, as well as Drain Punch and Spiky Shield, designed to try to be a sweeper, just setting up and breaking through the opponent's team, and enabled in doing that by Rillaboom with, again, the Fake Out and the Grassy Surge. One thing I didn't talk about yet is that I almost left a Pledge mode off of this team. I know 6 starters, full type balance, almost no Pledge mode. It was really hard to fit a Pledge mode onto it. In the end, it probably wasn't worth having, but I did, at the last moment, set up, give my team every kind of pledge. Grass Pledge being the hardest to fit on the team. That's why Rillaboom is carrying it here. I don't recommend Grass Pledge Rillaboom, but it had to go on one of these 2 Pokemon, and Chestnut did not have a move slot to spare. So we have Grass Pledge Rillaboom so that we can set up the Swamp or the Sea of Fire if we really want it. The fire types then, Incineroar, running a pretty typical support set, Snarl giving me a bit of cover into like Psy Spam and some Trick Room kinds of teams, the double Fake Out core with Rillaboom, the Parting Shot to further nerf opponents, Intimidate, Safety Goggles to shut down Amoonguss, just a Pokemon that's meant to be kind of a glue piece, as Incineroar so often is, cover for certain matchups and give a little bit more support to the likes of not only Chestnut, but also Skeledirge, the other hopefully star of the team, sitting here on the field with a ton of bulk, able to boost its special attack with Torch Song, so get well-rounded stats pretty much across the board as far as stats that it uses go. And then, yeah, I dropped Slack off for Fire Pledge, again thinking that Sea of Flames residual damage might be useful in some situations. Finally, the water types. Primarina, pretty straightforward throat spray set of the kind that I've been running for a while now. I probably would run Water Pledge on Primarina anyway. That's something I do a lot, and I don't actually know why it's not more common, given that Wide Guard and Neutralizing Gas can ruin a Hyper Voice game plan. But yeah, Water Pledge gives it a reliable single-target water-type attack that doesn't depend on its ability. So I probably would have that even without a Pledge mode, but of course it does also combo with Grass Pledge for the Swamp. I also can set up the Rainbow if I want, but I don't know why this team ever would. And finally, Focus Sash Inteleon with the Terra Ghost. Carrying not only Soak, but also Icy Wind to give this team some little bit of speed control other than its priority attacks, and Snipe Shot, a move that, if you're not familiar with it, cannot be redirected. You know how our Chaldon has Stalwart, and with that ability it can ignore redirection? Inteleon does not have an ability like that, but it has one specific move that can ignore redirection, and that is Snipe Shot, so I thought that could bail me out in some tough situations. And so, looking over it one more time, here is the final team. Basic game plan of setting up with Chestnut or Skeledirge, supported by the likes of Rillaboom and Incineroar. Inteleon can enable some offense with Icy Wind and maybe situationally Soak, and then Primarina is just a strong attacker that has good synergy with the other Pokemon. And with the team completed, the only thing left to do was try it out in a tournament. So I entered a Limitless tournament on BiffPip's Battle Frontier. It's a Discord server where they run Limitless tournaments pretty frequently, so there's a lot of time to try weird experiments like this. I actually streamed the tournament. It was a few weeks ago, but for those who didn't watch it and don't want to sit through a bunch of downtime between rounds, I have edited down the VOD right here so we can see how the tournament run went. How did the 6-starter experiment, the double fire water grass experiment, turn out in this tournament? One way to find out, and that's to watch. Alright, we're back in BiffPip's Battle Frontier, but like I said, I'm doing something different this time. I don't know whether the tournament is going to start at 5 past the hour like they often do. They haven't said, so I'm starting stream a little earlier just to be safe. But yeah, 6 starters. Oh, looks like tournament started. And I have a bye, round 1. Well, that's anticlimactic, as I do have to wait for 7 sets to play out. I guess I'll do what I always do and look at the metagame tab on Limitless. Rillaboom and Incineroar tie for the most used Pokemon, each on 1/3 of the teams, 5 out of 15. Primarina at 4 uses, with Goldango and Ursaluna. I have the only Chestnut, Skeledirge, and Inteleon, so I have both of the 2 most used Pokemon, one of the ones tied for 3rd. And then all of my others are single use, but that's about what I expected with this team. And the new round has started. So we finally get to play as, yep, got a matchup. Oh, they've also posted my open team sheet in the Discord. They must really think it's interesting. Alright, well, good luck, have fun. How do I beat this? Ugh. Power Herb. Oh, it's the Wolf. Yeah, it's the Wolf Glicker Chaladon, right? With the Terra Electric Thunderbolt. Actually, I think he used Stalwart. Man, yeah, Don't love the idea of just trying to set Chestnut just trying to set Chestnut up into this Scarf Annihilate. Let's lead Rillaboom and Inteleon. Let's try that gimmick. I'll bring Skeledirge and I'll bring Incineroar. That's what we'll try game 1. I forgot to put on Showdown music again, didn't I? Okay, that's gonna be too loud for game 1, but we'll fix it after that. Nah, we'll mute it for game 1. Okay. Yeah, there's the Annihilate. Mousehold's just looking to do damage. Huh. Well, I can make it not do damage with a Fake Out, right? It does have Terra Ghost. Well, if they want to commit that here, so be it. And I'll just Snipe, shoot, Annihilate. They do go for the Ghost Terra. Final Gambit knocks Inteleon down to its Sash. Are they going to get the KO here? That Snipe Shot did some decent damage. They actually Population Bomb into Rillaboom. Okay. Okay, that's not a terrible turn 1, I think. Very fun team. Thank you, opponent. They said that in chat. I'm not just saying it to myself. I don't think the Mousehold has anything for a Ghost type, so I'll bring Skeledirge in here, I think. We see the Porygon 2. It is Ghost Terra Blast Porygon 2. That's a bit dangerous. I think I'll just Torch Song here, and... I'll just protect Inteleon this turn. Maybe I should sack Inteleon and get a Snipe Shot into something. Or even switch it out to Incineroar. Honestly, Protect might have been the worst option. Oh hey, we do waste their Population Bomb there. We get a boost on Skeledirge, KO Mousehold. They get Trick Room up. Get Ursaluna in. I can Terra Grass here. I do then become weak to an Ice Beam from Porygon 2. Also, I'm thinking the Ursaluna might protect to activate its Flame Orb, right? So let's protect Skeledirge this turn and get Incineroar in. They've used their Terra, and anyway, it's Terra Fairy Ursaluna, not Ghost, so I can fake it out next turn if I want. This is tricky. I'll Terrastallize Skeledirge here. Torch Song Ursaluna. And I will fake it out. Now I've made Skeledirge vulnerable. Actually, I forgot that the Porygon 2 can't Terrastallize after the Mousehold did. Probably should not ever Terrastallize Skeledirge there. But it's done now. I'll recover, or I'll protect for the recovery, and I think sack Inteleon here. And I'm wearing down their Trick Room turns, but more importantly, I'm wearing down Ursaluna. And I should be able to beat Porygon 2 in the end game. Inteleon goes down. Get Incineroar back in. Fake out Torch Song again, I guess. Yeah, and then... Well, if they protected here, that's kind of silly of me. Maybe I should be targeting Porygon 2 with this, but I'm going to stick to it. If I can get rid of the Ursaluna, then Incineroar should beat Porygon 2 in the end game. Okay, they do protect the Ursaluna. Probably should have played around that. That said, I can go for a Torch Song into Ursaluna now. How much did it do before? 38. Oh, Skeledirge is faster than the Incineroar? Okay, I'll knock off into that slot as well. Torch Song does pick up the KO, get the knockoff into Porygon 2. We did at least put them in a position where they couldn't safely protect Ursaluna while setting Trick Room. And I'll protect Skeledirge here. Does the Porygon 2 ever recover? Yes. I guess I'll Snarl. Honestly, maybe Porygon 2 can win this endgame, but it's not going to have a pleasant time doing it. Now I'll try Torch Song and knock off. They do get the KO on Skeledirge there. It's a one-on-one. Porygon 2 win this somehow. Maybe with like a Terra Blast crit. Okay, dodging my Snarl is actually a pretty good start for it. I'll knock off here, looking for the KO in the next turn. If it doesn't recover, it does. Does Porygon 2 win this? Well, just keep lowering its special attack. Actually, yeah, I might just plain lose this one, huh? Maybe I could, maybe I need to be playing for a crit. Guess I didn't think that all the way through. If I was planning to beat Porygon 2 with Incineroar, and that doesn't work. They say I'll win eventually in chat, and then they say hopefully. I mean, yeah, if I can get a crit at the right time or something, then I can still win this, but it does. I actually do think it favors them. Even with a crit, this is... like, it has to be at just the right time. And Incineroar takes probably 2 more... well, I mean, 1 more Terra Blast before going down. It'll probably take 2 more Terra Blasts for them to KO Incineroar. So yeah, okay, Incineroar beating Porygon 2 in the endgame was not the answer. That much, I think, is now clear. A Terra Blast. Can I win with a crit now? I could have won with... I would have won with a crit there, but we don't get it. And so after 24 turns, lose game 1, and it's on to game 2. I think I'll bring the Chestnut to this game. I'm going to lead Skeledirge this time with Intellion. I'll bring Chestnut in the back. Maybe Skeledirge, Rillaboom, Chestnut. I still kind of like the Incineroar, honestly. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's do the first thing I did. I said Skeledirge, Intellion, Chestnut, Rillaboom. Excuse me. Nice starter team. This is someone else from the tournament watching. Hi, and thanks for that. Okay, we see Annihilate and Archaludon this time, so they can do coaching stuff. Great. Great. Well, what they can't do is Final Gambit Skeledirge, so let's just Torch Song into Archaludon and Snipe Shot Annihilate and see where that gets us. They actually lock into Shadow Claw. Incidentally, they have that and not Rage Fist, I'm noticing right now. Okay, well, can I just get Chestnut in here? I think I'm down to try. Maybe this is hasty, but Protect and Belly Drum. Wait, what does... I'll Protect and Belly Drum. Yeah, maybe I wanted to get Grassy Terrain up before going for this, at least. Yeah, I probably should have gone Rillaboom. Oh well. Okay. They deny me the Belly Drum. That's not great. I'll Shadow Ball the Annihilate, try to get the KO, and I'll switch Rillaboom in, get the Grassy Terrain up, but I'm not going for a Belly Drum game plan at this point. I just think Chestnut might be able to throw off some Drain Punches or something in the late game. But make no mistake, this has gone pretty well off the rails at this point. Do at least get the KO into Annihilate finally. And we're now getting double recovery on Skeledirge. And they brought Volcarona. What does that have? Pretty much all the stuff you don't want to see here. They have Struggle Bug. Nice for them. Not so nice for me. I think I just lose to these Pokemon is the takeaway here. I don't see a way to pull this back. Which double resistance do I want to hit with Woodhammer? Oh, well, it's only a single resistance now. Dragon Pulse into Rillaboom, so Skeledirge will get an attack off. And that Woodhammer actually did pretty good damage. Torch Song did not. Okay, wait. Protect Skeledirge, Grassy Glide Volcarona. I don't think it KOs, but maybe it softens it up to Chestnut after Rillaboom goes down. Or maybe Rillaboom just gets another attack off next turn. I mean, we take those. Grassy Glide Volcarona, Torch Song, Archaludon. Hope we get that attack off. We are ignoring the special attack boost with Unaware. Volcarona goes down, but so does Skeledirge. So that'll do it, I think. And they still have the mice in the back. Huh. Is the item on the mouse hold? The usual one? Let's see if I can make a play. Nah. I can't. Alright, well. GG's. Can't say we didn't try. But, yeah, it turns out a team of 6 starters, probably not that great into the meta. But of course we'll play out the rest of this tournament. Still 3 more rounds of Swiss. And who knows? I have a win already thanks to the bye. Alright, good luck, have fun. I remembered. Both the good luck, have fun, and the music. This seems a little quiet to me, but probably fine. How do I not lose to this? By which I mean, how do I beat this? Let's not be negative here. Power Herb Meteor Beam Armor Rouge. That's a problem. Okay, Skeldridge kind of feasts on this whole team though. With the Grass Terra. The Gallade is probably the scariest thing for it. Could bring Rillaboom. Could bring Incineroar. Could bring Rillaboom. I can bring Incineroar. I can bring Primarina. Mostly Skeldridge, Incineroar, bring Rillaboom, Primarina. We see Lilligant and Torkoal in their lead spots. Ooh, actually, we do have a problem. I'd like to go Terra Grass Skeldridge to avoid the Sleep Powder, but I cannot in front of this Torkoal, I think. Covert Cloak Torkoal, too. I can't even flinch it. I can try to flinch the Lilligant, and if they commit their Terra to that, then, you know, that's something they don't have later in the game. They're not in a super strong offensive position here with their Torkoal against my 2 fire types. So I guess the basic theory of double Fire Water Grass, for all its flaws, kind of coming through in this lead matchup. I think, probably. But yeah, if they let me KO Lilligant here, that would be pretty cool. Without it doing anything, ideally. Okay, it will not flinch. We get off an Eruption. That's not... that actually is doing a fair bit. But we get some damage into Lilligant. I think I'm fine to send a Torch Song into Torkoal next and a knockoff into Lilligant. Do I Terra Ghost Incineroar so that they can't KO it with close combat? I think no, because then Incineroar takes unresisted Eruption if they go for the After You play again. They do close combat Incineroar, it doesn't KO. I'll get off some big attacks here. Lilligant's gone. If I'm trading Incineroar for Lilligant, I think I'm okay with that. Ooh, Skeldridge takes an Earth Power instead. That I'm less okay with. It's not the end of the world, I think, probably. Let's Protect. And Snarl. Am I giving them a Trick Room if I do this? But what else do I have? Well, I can just try to KO the Indeedee. And deal with, you know, beat Torkoal with something else. Okay, well, Torch Song and Snarl. Ooh, doesn't KO. The Snarl does, okay. Yeah, we trade Skeldridge for that. I'll get Rillaboom in here. I can Terrastalize it, so it's actually kind of reasonable into the Armarouge. But this also buys some time to get out of the sun. And then I can get Primarina in without the sun up. Terrifier. Fake out Armarouge for now. Kill the second last turn of sun. And I'll also knock off Armarouge. That doesn't have Protect. That almost KOs. Lose Incineroar here, but that's okay. I I think I'm fine getting Primarina in now. I'll just Grassy Glide Armarouge and protect Primarina. And then Primarina should beat Torkoal next turn. If Rillaboom doesn't beat it. Yep, Armarouge gone. Primarina, not really bothered about that Fire-type Weather Ball, and now the Sun is gone, and I'll just go Woodhammer, Hyper Voice. That's the first proper game win of the night. Over to game 2. I still really like the Skeledirge lead into this team. And I mean, I think the Incineroar still makes sense with it. Let's just bring the same Pokemon, honestly. I don't see a great case for Chestnut or Inteleon. Okay, same leads. I think this time, given that they're probably not going to let me flinch the Lilligant, I think I'm going to go right for a Torch Song into Torkoal and Terra Ghost. Yeah, it's Covert Cloak Torkoal, so I can't fake it out. Terra Ghost Snarl. Nerf the Torkoal, break Lilligant's Sash. Skeledirge doesn't really care about Lilligant's attacks other than Sleep Powder. Ooh, they go right for the Earth Power. That's a problem, I suppose. Although, give me a chance to get Skeledirge a bit healthier. A Parting Shot Torkoal this time. The idea is to get Rillaboom in. If they Eruption, well, RIP Rillaboom. But if they don't, they Weather Ball that slot. Okay, but Rillaboom actually takes it reasonably well. And I can Terrasilize Rillaboom here. I'm getting double I've already used my Terra. Forgot. Okay, we'll play that a little differently then. Getting the grassy terrain up I think is good, which my opponent probably agrees with, seeing as they immediately get rid of it. This would be a good time to wake up and KO Indeedee. Can we do that? Oh, after you Trick Room works, huh? I don't think I've ever tried that. Oh, that's another layer to these Sunroom teams that I definitely didn't know until now. It's frustrating though, because it gives them Armarouge. There's not a whole lot I can do. I guess I hope that AV Incineroar at full takes the Expanding Force, and I knock off into Armarouge. Torkoal in, okay. Would have liked that to do more. Would have liked it to KO. AV Incineroar does take that pretty well, though. Just try to get this Armarouge. Skeledirge has gotten a lot of its health back. It might take a hit. We can only hope. And I still have Primarina in the back, although they still now have Lilligant. I didn't prioritize knocking it out this time. Skeledirge is not taking this, but Incineroar underspeeding Armarouge? Min speed 58, but I'm not running min speed. Min 72. 80. Okay. They're not running min speed Armarouge, I guess. Well. Lucky me. Should be able to clean up Lilligant from here. Yep. GG's. And you know what? The starter concept kind of worked there, as, you know, one fire type was strong into their team, but two fire types in the lead spots were pretty hard for them to deal with. Again, I'm not saying it's an actual good team concept, but that's the, you know, if there's an outcome I was hoping for in this little experiment, that was kind of it. Yep, here we go. Good luck, have fun. Sorry, got distracted? That's okay. Yeah, how do I beat this Sunroom team? I don't have to worry about a Lilligant anymore, so that's nice. Skeletor still probably kind of goes crazy in a lead spot. Gotta deal with the Executor somehow. Terra Psych... Oh, well, it doesn't have Sleep Powder, so that's nice. That actually makes it a lot less worrisome. Terra Psychic, not Ghost, so I can fake it out. Let's go right back to Skeletor and Cineroar lead. Rillaboom Primarina. Let's just do the same stuff we were doing in the last Sunroom team. And if it doesn't work, we can reevaluate. Okay, Indeedee Gallade. I mean, the Gallade is obviously a problem. At least turn off their Psychic Terrain. And then maybe flinch the Gallade next turn. Get Trick Room up, of course. They were going for that, why not? Let's go for the Fake Out here. That is going to let them get their Psychic Terrain back, but do let me get damage into Gallade at least. I'm just going to go right for a Shadow Ball into Armarouge, I think. I feel like this could backfire, but we'll see. DD unsurprisingly comes into that slot. Well, I wasn't afraid of the Gallade this turn. Skeledirge does take the Expanding Force, not especially well, but we do get KO back into Armarouge. There's their Torkoal. I think what I'm going to do is protect Skeledirge and Parting Shot into Torkoal, get Rillaboom back, Terra Fire. You know, I'm still, well, okay, a little Parting Shot into a DD instead, but still kind of playing this like last round so far. I like the One Piece nicknames, by the way. Torch Song, Terra Fire. I think I'm just gonna Woodhammer into the DD slot, trying to catch Gallade coming in. Comes into that slot instead. But that means they don't get much damage this turn. I still get the KO onto Gallade with Skeledirge getting its attack off. Big damage into a DD, and they can't get Psychic Terrain back. They have Clear Smog on the Torkoal. I didn't notice that until now. They can take away Skeledirge's boost if they want. Let's kill a turn. Oh, they don't have Trick Room up anymore. I miscounted. Don't have to kill a turn of Trick Room at all. Let's just protect Skeledirge and Woodhammer into a DD. Deny another Trick Room. And yeah, they're seeing that coming. I guess they forfeit. So, game 2. It's not broken, don't fix it. For now. Almost forgot to accept open team sheets. Just wait for them to figure out what they're doing. Okay, Skeledirge and Cineroar against Indeedee and Armarouge this time. Makes sense, they can get Trick Room up pretty safely. I think I I'm going to bring Rillaboom in and go right for a Snarl. I want to switch Rillaboom in, and I want to Snarl. This is the only way to do both. It does, of course, get Skeledirge off the field, but that's not necessarily the worst thing here. They get their Trick Room. I'm just going to Wood Hammer into the Ursaluna slot and see what I can hit with that. And Terra Ghost. You know what? Maybe I should just let Incineroar go down if it comes to that. I should have knocked off the Indeedee slot. Okay, Rillaboom, that's not good. Really didn't accomplish anything this turn, did I? They can get their Psychic Terrain back. I'm just clicking buttons at this point, but I think this one's gotten away from me. I can bring Indeedee in and deny a Fake Out if I try that, so I'm just gonna knock off into the Armor slot instead. They're thinking. They do actually switch Ursaluna out, so I might get this knockoff. The Armor Cannon KO Skeledirge, though, that's crazy. Trade Armourouge for Skeledirge, but I don't think I see how I beat the Ursaluna in the back. So that's probably that. Try to weaken it if I can, but with 2 turns of Trick Room left, I think they have enough to just finish this one up. Do at least lower their own Pokemon's defenses. So, hold on. Kill this last turn of Trick Room, and it might not be over. But it's probably over. I do get my Throat Spray, though. But yeah, just protect here. Get out of Trick Room. The Gallade might make it over. So here's the thing, I have to KO Indeedee or they get Trick Room back. So I'll Moonblast the Indeedee slot. But then I'm letting the Gallade rack up damage on Primarina. Of course, it could Wide Guard. If it Wide Guards, this... Oh, it also can set Trick Room itself. But I think it probably won't. But it will, with Indeedee covering it with... Oh, but there, no Trick Room. Wow, real roller coaster here. But they've gotten me. I can't beat both of these Pokemon. They have a pretty safe Wide Guard facade here. They actually don't Wide Guard, but the Gallade still takes the Hyper Voice, and so we do finally lose to a Sunroom team tonight. We're going to Game 3. What if I lead Primarina this time? Like Incineroar, Primarina, Skeledirge, Rillaboom. We'll stick with those same Pokemon. Wait, actually. They're bringing Teleon. With the Focus Sash, you can take a hit and Snipe Shot something. Rillaboom was better into the Ursaluna, though. No, I think I still bring Rillaboom. 80 Armourouge lead again. I'm just going to go for Snarl and Hyper Voice. Try to get a bunch of damage off instead of switching Rillaboom in here. Protect Armourouge. That is unfortunate. That does get it out of the Snarl for now. Try to knock off Armourouge this turn. They might sack in DD. Honestly, if they sack in DD to prevent that, that's not the worst thing. Let's protect Primarina. I'm targeting Armourouge with this knockoff, but a KO into either one of their Pokemon I think would be good here. And of course, if they switch in DD out, then they don't get a follow me to redirect the knockoff away from Armourouge. Or if DD does something different. There's the Terra Grass, Armourouge, and the knockoff. So we'll get the KO into DD, I would think. Yeah. I really don't want to throw away my Throat Spray boost, but I think I might have to get Rillaboom in here. Okay, let's just get Rillaboom in. I win the terrain battle this time, which is good because Rillaboom just took a ton of damage from that Psycho Cut crit and then got knocked out by Expanding Force. I get Skeledirge here, I guess. Psycho Cut is still strong, but both my Pokemon at least are immune to Sacred Sword, and like I said, I have terrain control for the rest of this game. That's a lot of damage. I almost KO Incineroar with the double up, but not quite. Don't manage to KO Gallade there either. I think I'm willing to let them have Incineroar if they want it at this point. Especially on the last turn of Trick Room. I'll go for a knockoff into Gallade in case they let me get the attack off and Shadow Ball into Armourouge. These, of course, are the Trick Room setters, so I would certainly like them to not still have both on the field after this turn. Unfortunately, they will. But Trick Room ends and I get Primarina back, so I have two strong attackers. I can Moonblast into Gallade and Shadow Ball into Armourouge, and neither one can safely set Trick Room, I would think. They go for the Wide Guard trying to cover the Hyper Voice, but yeah, that's the part that I was leaving unsaid. Since they had the Wide Guard pressure, I went for this instead of Hyper Voice. But each of my Pokemon being able to take a KO there means no more Trick Room, and we can Hyper Voice and Torch Song here, I think. And they forfeit. GG's. Good set. That was win, loss, win. Recording that on Limitless. That was a fun one. Good luck, have fun. Okay, yeah. Chestnut. Incineroar, Rillaboom, Primarina is what we're trying game one. So a couple of people are watching. Hello. I will not be able to see chat while I'm playing, but I'll take a look at it later, so say hi if you want. Okay. Going Ursaluna Whimsicott. Here's the thing about this. It's kind of hard to deal with. I'm just gonna Belly Drum Parting Shot. Let's just send it. Then I have a Fake Out available. Oh. Okay. Wait, I still get the Belly Drum off. That's wild. Does Bulletproof stop Moonblast? I think it probably doesn't. So I think I still lose Chestnut here. Well... What if I Spiky Shield, and instead of faking out Ursaluna, I just go for a big Woodhammer into this Whimsicott? I guess the problem with that is I give them a chance to get Tailwind. And then Chestnut still loses to Ursaluna after that. Chestnut, though, is forced out here. Millibloom's at -1, but Woodhammer will still hit hard, and the Whimsicott no longer resists. Incineroar has Flare Blitz. I'm going to Terra Water. This could be a game-losing play. It's probably not worth trying to preserve Chestnut, but I'm going to Terra Water, Drain Punch into Incineroar, and I'm going to Grassy Glide Whimsicott and hope for the best. Ah, they Encore me to Spiky Shield. That's not the best. Well, let's go. Primarina in here. Shall we? Chestnut will at least pull off another Spiky Shield this next turn. You see the Ursaluna come back. Not really surprised by that. We'll Spiky Shield and Hyper Voice. Wonder what they're thinking about. Whether they can KO Primarina cleanly this turn, maybe. Maybe they can. I don't know. They're definitely taking their time with this one. Really taking their time. Are they running calcs against my Primarina or something? Oh. Maybe I'll start timer if they take too much longer. But again, I don't know what rules there might or might not be for timer in these tournaments. Honestly, by now I should probably have learned. This is game 1, right? Yeah. Should probably start timer. I'll give it another minute or two. Starting timer. There we go. You see the Tatsugiri without the Dondozo. Just go right for a Blood Moon into Primarina. Does not KO without the Ursaluna helping. Don't quite get rid of the Ursaluna here either. I meant without the Incineroar helping, obviously. Still locked into Spiky Shield. Here's hoping for some luck. For Hyper Voice. Okay, well, we get the Spiky Shield at least. Primarina gets knocked out. So does their Ursaluna by Life Orb Recoil. We'll both get Incineroar in here. Chestnut finally is able to move again, but, you know, like just in time to get flinched. I don't think I have any speed EVs on Incineroar, but let's see if I can flinch theirs. Or they flinch mine. Actually, probably would have been better to flinch Tatsugiri there. But I don't get either. And they'll close this out. I'm actually just going to forfeit, because I don't really want to play out this Incineroar endgame. And we'll move on to game 2. Okay. That was pretty rough. Let's lead Rillaboom. I'm going to bring the same Pokemon this time, but I'm going to scramble the order. I'm going to start with Rillaboom Primarina. Honestly, there's a case for Skeledirge this time. But I don't quite trust it. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to bring Skeledirge instead of Chestnut. If they bring Dondozo, they probably just boom me with that, but if not, against the Pokemon they brought last game, Skeledirge should be a little bit easier to get going. I think. At least with the Grass Terra. Yeah. Try it. And if we get to game 3, we'll reevaluate for that. Honestly, probably bring Chestnut in game 3 if we get there. Starting timer again. I don't want to be impatient, but I also don't want to be endlessly patient. Given that I've thought and rethought through my choice here multiple times now, I feel like I've given them reasonable time to pick their leads. Rillaboom and Primarina against Whimsicott and Ursaluna again. Well, I can pressure the Ursaluna here. Right? Yeah, let's just go for some big damage. I definitely don't want to fake out, because then Whimsicott can Encore Rillaboom into that. And we know that Primarina takes a Blood Moon. Although, actually, we don't know that after the fake tears. Yeah. A bit unfortunate, actually, to be using Hyper Voice there, because I think I'm just going to throw away my boost. But, well, let's try protecting Primarina this turn and going for another Wood Hammer into the... Actually, let's just Wood Hammer Hyper Voice again. If they switch Ursaluna out to Incineroar, we can catch Incineroar with the Hyper Voice then. This way. Instead, Incineroar comes into the other slot, so they might KO Primarina here. They actually Blood Moon into Rillaboom instead, and with the Assault Vest, it barely hangs on. Primarina does some big damage. That's what I like to see. I overcame the Ursaluna this time. There's the Tatsugiri. I probably do want to pivot Primarina out now. Tricky. But I should. I'll get Incineroar in, I guess. Hold on to Skeledirge for now. Yeah, this gives me Primarina back in. I think I'm content to Moonblast the Tatsugiri and knock off into their Incineroar. I do have the accuracy drop on my Incineroar. But I don't want to let Tatsugiri... Actually, no. Primarina is a Fairy type. It's not afraid of Draco Meteor or anything. Let's just get rid of their Incineroar. In fact, I should probably Moonblast their Incineroar, because that's the move I'd rather be locked into by Whimsicott when it comes back in with Encore. Sacking Incineroar is fine. Losing accuracy on Primarina is less fine. Would be nice to be able to switch Primarina out here, but I cannot. We'll just go Skeledirge. Moonblast, Tatsugiri, Terra, Grass, Torch Song, Whimsicott. Muddy Water misses Primarina. Doesn't do too much to Skeledirge. Whimsicott's gone, and we should be able to beat Tatsugiri one way or another here. And yeah, I think I do bring Skeledirge and not Chestnut the next game. I am a little bit thinking about what if they bring Dondozo, but Unaware Skeledirge is probably better into that anyway than what Chestnut is offering. Assuming I once again manage to save the Terra Grass for it. Did I miss both my attacks this turn? Wait, I actually could still lose this. It's very unlikely, but I actually could still lose. I've just missed like 3 attacks in a row into this Tatsugiri. So this double Muddy Water miss feels like justice. And okay, Skeledirge claims the last KO, and we go to game 3. Just look to chat. What if they're sniping me? You know, I hadn't thought of that. It's not impossible. Anyway. But now that you've said that, I will just start timer right away this time. And yeah, I'll do... This was a strong mode, I'll do it again. As we see the Whimsicott Tatsugiri lead this time. But I feel pretty safe then to just do the same early play as last time. You fake Tears into Rillaboom, that's fine. Might KO your Incineroar here. Not quite. Still did a lot though. And I think I can just pivot Rillaboom out to my Incineroar and protect. Maybe I don't protect Primarina for obvious reasons. But if they fake out Primarina, that's not the end of the world. Okay. We will pick up Incineroar here. A lot of damage into Whimsicott. Is it Dondozo this time? Nope, Ursaluna again. Okay. I think I'll pivot Rillaboom back in. You see the Ursaluna protect, okay. The Snarl into Tatsugiri is honestly kind of nice. And I'll just double target this Ursaluna. Well, double target with Woodhammer for damage and Parting Shot for utility, as both my Pokemon take this pretty well. This will get me Primarina back in. Honestly, let's just Grassy Glide and Moonblast. If the Grassy Glide KOs Ursaluna, then I get the Moonblast into Tatsugiri. That's pretty nice. I think I switch Whimsicott in. Grassy Glide doesn't quite KO that, but the Moonblast should finish it off. And yeah, I don't know why they've kept bringing Tatsugiri without Dondozo to every game. The Primarina just does not care at all about dealing with the Tatsugiri. I think here I'll actually protect Primarina and target a Woodhammer and Ursaluna. Okay, I was thinking, the rest of that thought was if they KO Rillaboom, then I get Incineroar in and I can fake out Ursaluna. But I guess... maybe I could just hard switch Incineroar in. We know Primarina takes a Blood Moon. Well, apparently not if it has any damage on it. But Tatsugiri's gone. I have Incineroar and Skeledirge against this low HP Ursaluna, and that'll do it. I'll fake out Torch Song this turn. They'll probably protect. But then I'll knock off and Terra Grass around a possible Earth Power Torch Song. Unless they one-shot Skeledirge with, like, Hyper Voice. That should be it. Yeah, don't get either KO with the Hyper Voice. Torch Song finishes the Ursaluna off. That is another... oh no, that's lost win-win. I lost game 1 this time. But that is another set 1. And... oh, forgot to say GG's. Don't think it's too late. And that's what, 4-1 after 5 rounds of Swiss? That should do it for Top Cut. Oh, Top Cut. Looks like I'm the 1 seed, and I've gotten a bye in top 16, so... oh, I have an opponent. Alright, top 8. Alright. Open team sheets. Good luck, have fun. What do I do? 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 Okay, yeah, the Alolan Ninetales actually puts out a lot of pressure with the Dragon types. I do kind of see the vision. It's like, oh, I want to throw Skeledirge and Incineroar at it, but then Garchomp gives them trouble. At least it's not Inner Focus Dragonite, so leading Incineroar is probably still pretty reasonable, but they do then have the King Gambit, don't they? With the Assault Vest, so I can't just Torch Song it out of here. I'm gonna go for Chestnut game plan. Because what else do I do here? Chestnut, Incineroar, Skeledirge, Primarina. I don't like not having Rillaboom, but I also don't like Rillaboom in this matchup, which is maybe a flaw in the whole Chestnut game plan concept. But oh, they have Clear Smog on the Amoonguss. Ugh, man. Okay. Let's see what we can do about this Amoonguss. Terraghost is good. If they fake out my Incineroar, or I mean if they don't. I got a big knockoff, that doesn't actually do that much. Flare Blitz Incineroar too. If I Terrastalize Amoonguss, I can't put to sleep with Spore. So this team just pins me down in so many ways. These are really well built, I think. Everything I think of, they have a counter readily available. Honestly, I'm just going to try to do damage to their Amoonguss. Grass Glide does so little without any boosts. And I get rid of Chestnut's Citrus Berry, which makes it that much harder to set up a Belly Drum. I'm nonetheless going to try to here. I know it's mandatory sleep turn for Incineroar, but I think they won't clear Smog Chestnut. Actually, they Flare Blitz Chestnut, then I just lose to that. They Parting Shot my Incineroar instead. I feel like I could learn a lot from this team that they're using. There's the Dragonite. They do clear Smog into Chestnut, so they didn't fall for that one, huh? They'll get some more HP on their Amoonguss with Regenerator. This team just feels so constricting to play against. Like, from turn 1, they've just had me in a bind. And I think I'm starting to lose focus, but hey, let's try not to tilt. We might end up tilting, but let's try not to. Terragrass Skeledirge might be able to do something here. The problem is they have their Terra Flying Terra Blast on Dragonite. No, they don't, because they've terrestrialized their Amoonguss. Okay. Alright, well, they've plausibly created some kind of opening with that. Is it even worth... Nope. Is it even worth Torch Song into Amoonguss, or should I just Shadow Ball? But then what do I use Torch Song into? Incineroar? Honestly, maybe I want Chestnut to go down here so that I get Primarina in to help cover for their Incineroar, which probably just beats my Skeledirge otherwise. Okay. I'm gonna cover for a switch. but also try Torch Song into the Amogus. But I have to remember to terrestrialize Skeledirge. I almost forgot there. They do bring the Incineroar in. The Drain Punch ought to do something if it goes off. It doesn't. But I did say that I kind of thought I might be better off with Chestnut fainting there. Because I get Primarina covered for Fake Out here. There's the Alolan Ninetales in the back. And I've made my Skeledirge weak to ice. Yeah, this team is just brutal. I think I should study compositions like this. That makes me sound nerdy. I think I should look into teams like this one and see what I can learn from them, because everything I try, they always have an answer. And that's got to be a sign of some good team building right there. Primarina being locked into Protect. Oh, well, now they can lock Skeledirge into Protect too. It doesn't matter, I don't think I was winning this one. Skeledirge taking that Blizzard also loses. And still loses to that one. They can put Primarina to sleep here if they want, or they can just clear Smog. You can Encore again, yeah. Okay, so we lose game 1. For sure. What can I possibly do in game 2? I do still think Skeledirge is one of my best pieces into this. It has weaknesses, but everything I do here has weaknesses. There's no completely safe way to play this. Not that I expect there should be. But I mean, Skeledirge just went crazy against some of the teams tonight. This one, I think it's still the best thing I've got, but I have to be more careful. I think if I lead it with Primarina, that kind of covers for everything. You know what I can do? If this doesn't work, at least we went down swinging. I'm going to try the Fire Pledge, Grass Pledge combo. Try to get some pressure on them with the Sea of Fire. Bring Primarina in the back for sure. Skeledirge Primarina might have been better to give me more offensive coverage into their whole team, but yeah, I'm going to try for that Pledge combo. See if the residual damage can make the difference here. Part of me wants to bring Inteleon. It does hit hard into a lot of these Pokemon, but I feel like I almost have to bring Incineroar. That's what I'm going to do. But hey, maybe going down in a Blaze of Glory, if that's the goal. I should have brought both Inteleon and other thing. Pledge combo. They have Fake Out pressure. I'll just try to Fake Out their Incineroar. Protect Skeledirge so it doesn't get put to sleep. The Garchomp instead of a Fake Out, so I had a chance to get the Pledge combo here. But into this, Terra Grass Skeledirge should be able to pull it off this next turn. And I'll get a Fire type Pledge into the Amogus slot. They might switch Amogus out, but I'm not going to do this into the Garchomp slot, am I? So we're going for it. Fire Pledge combo. Connects with the Amogus and one-shots it, and we get the Sea of Fire. Nerfed a little bit by my own grassy terrain, but still. The Ninetales. Go Incineroar. I can't protect Skeledirge because of the Encore. I'll just Torch Song. We see the Ice Terra. It's just going to knock out Skeledirge with the Blizzard. Maybe I did need to protect there. Incineroar is frozen. And fun fact, if I had Flare Blitz, Incineroar could thaw itself. This doesn't apply to every fire attack, but there are a handful of fire attacks where if you use them when you're frozen, you thaw yourself and are guaranteed to get the move off. Flare Blitz is one of those, but I don't have Flare Blitz on my Incineroar, so we'll get Primarina instead because it resists Blizzard and Rillaboom is weak to Blizzard. And I mean, try to do something into these Pokemon. I'm really kind of squandering the Sea of Fire, and the fact that I set up grassy terrain with my Grass Pledge user definitely makes it a bit less useful than I would have liked. But the residual damage does KO the Garchomp there, so it may yet come in clutch. We see their Incineroar. As once again, I can't safely protect. I think OBS disconnected again. I hope the stream didn't die. Yeah, with the Encore. Alola and Ninetales can actually be really hard to deal with if they position it well, as this opponent has protecting on the Woodhammer, but of course, what else was I going to do with Rillaboom? As Rillaboom will now drop to a Flare Blitz, and let's see if Incineroar even thaws before the game is over. How many turns has Incineroar been frozen? Somebody tell me in the comments. I don't have the heart to check myself. Still hasn't thawed yet. Yeah, tell me in the comments how long Incineroar was frozen once this game's over, as it never does thaw. And we lose pretty convincingly in top 8, so that'll be it for this tournament run. That was a really cool team by my opponent. I might take a closer look at it later. I know Clover Bells was building Double Dragon stuff lately, so I wonder whether this is one of his teams or he has something like it. But in any case, that's the tournament. Hey, I didn't expect to make top cut with a team of 6 starters, so feels pretty successful overall compared to my expectations. But we do fall short here in top 8. Yeah, so the team was definitely flawed, and those flaws were exposed over the course of the tournament, but top 8 is honestly better than I was expecting, and I was pretty happy with it. It was a pretty satisfying stream overall. I did realize later that I lost to Paul Chua's team in top 8, so I do now know where that team came from. I still think it's a really cool and interesting team, but go figure, it got, I think, top 4 in Baltimore with a top player using it. No wonder it performs well. By the way, the opponent who knocked me out in top 8 missed the first 2 rounds, so they started 0-2 by default. That's why they were matched up against me so early in top cut, but then they went undefeated through the rest of the tournament. So I didn't stop their run, but neither did anybody else. Can't complain too much, right? The team definitely had its flaws, like I said. Some of them were kind of inherent to the experiment, which is what I expected. If I were revising it now, I actually think I was closer to the right track with Hisuian and Decidueye and Blastoise instead of Chestnut and Inteleon. Those 2 Pokemon didn't really work out, and I actually think that if you figure out the right set for Blastoise, it could be very cool on a team like this. The Skeledirge was great, though. I'm glad I made that change over Hisuian and Typhlosion. In any case, that's the end of this starter experiment, but there are more to come, because, yeah, starter Pokemon being pretty good and viable in Regulation H is a lot of fun. And I had fun doing my Ghost Month in October, where I built a team around a Ghost type, or multiple Ghost types, and laddered with it. video going up every Thursday of the month, culminating in Mono Ghost and Halloween. That was some fun content for me to make. Go check those videos out too if you want. But I'm going to do something similar in December where I feature some starter Pokemon that didn't make this team. I have a few starters in mind, again, to go up on Thursday videos throughout December. It won't end on Mono Starter because I've already done that, but there should be some fun and interesting Pokemon and some of my favorites to experiment with and see what I can do with them over the course of that month. So every Thursday in December, a video featuring a starter Pokemon, and this was the 6 starter team. Part gimmick, part experiment. I think I learned some things about what does and doesn't work with this kind of core, but either way, hope you had fun watching. More to come, of course.